a bunch of these people from LA are reaching out to me like, "This is crazy." And I was like, "If I can set up 5 meetings in LA, I'll quit my job and I'll sell my car and I'll just fly over and see what I can do."
Awesome. Yeah. Well, so again, I'm Adam, and this is about you and your journey in music.
Cool.
Sweet. Born and raised in Auckland, in New Jersey, or in New Jersey, in New
New
Zealand.
Jersey, that's the one. Yeah, no, New Zealand, yep, born and raised in New Zealand.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
It's a small place out here, everyone kinda knows everyone. Everyone's
Mhm.
like, you know, it's just a small community, growing up, it was but I love it out here, all my friends are out here. It's a kind of sporty place. I played rugby all growing up through all through primary school and
Yeah.
intermediate and high school.
Oh, awesome.
And then, yeah.
Very, very cool. I know they very supportive of music and the arts in New Zealand as well. I believe them New Zealand and I think Canada are like the 2 that you can actually get a grant, right? And they'll fund
Yeah.
projects and
Yeah.
everything for you. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
So cool.
Yeah, that's, definitely something we do not do here in the States, but I've always thought that was awesome that that's something
Yeah.
that they do in New Zealand, and also in Canada, I know they do the same thing. But what about music? Do you come from a creative musical household at all, or tell me how'd you get into
No,
music?
none of my family is like musical. My grandpa did jam the guitar. He taught himself the guitar and he was good at just like he would jam that, but other than that, like my parents, well, they weren't musical. I wasn't really brought up around music, but yeah,
Did
no.
you see your grandpa play? Like, was he
Yeah,
was
when I was little. Yeah, when I was little, I saw them. So I was like jamming.
that's awesome. And, what about yeah, I mean, it sounds like you did rugby for a number of years. But did
Yep.
you pick up an instrument, at an early age or anything like that?
No, I didn't start guitar until a couple years ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So what was your first kind of exposure as far as, like, music meant as far as, like, you wanting to do this or pursuing it at any time?
Originally I wanted to be a DJ.
Oh, okay.
I was at this there's this festival that happens every there's this festival that happens every New Year's, which is like the festival to go to in New Zealand. It's called Rhythm and Vines. And I was there like 4 years ago watching this DJ perform and I was like, oh my God, that's gotta be like the best feeling ever. Like I need to become a DJ.
Uh-huh.
Which I'm playing at this festival this
I
year, by
I
the
was just
way,
gonna
which
say,
is
aren't you playing this year at the festival?
yep. Yep. So that's
Wow,
kind of
that's huge. Tell me about that
yeah.
moment. I mean, that must have been so insane to be like, I this is where I kind of this is where I discovered I wanted to be a musician, and now you're on the actual festival.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm super pumped. It's like, yeah, little dream moment come true. But yeah,
I
no,
bet.
originally I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to be like a drum and bass
Okay.
DJ,
DJ?
and then yeah,
Did you
that
get
just
like,
didn't help.
Ableton or like Pro Tools or
Exactly.
something?
I got after the festival, I downloaded Ableton and I've spent the week on like YouTube.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm just gonna craft out the perfect drum and bass song. Spent the week like figuring out how to do it all, and then showed my buddies the song on the weekend, and they gave it to me straight.
Were they like, "It's awesome?"
Yeah, they were just like, no, this is not it. This is not it.
Okay.
Well, because I when I showed them originally, I didn't tell them that it was my song. I just put it on. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna play it for them, and if they
Oh,
like it,
smart.
then hey, and if they don't, then I'll just blame it on Discover Weekly.
Okay, so you played it for 'em and they weren't a fan, sounds like.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I already wasted this money on Ableton. I need to re-strategize.
Did you tell them that it was yours or no?
No, 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 no. When I played it for them, I was just playing some music in the car, and then I would just put it on. I was just like casually driving still, and then
And then they were
we got
like,
the
"Oh,
hard
what is
truth.
this?" Like,
Yeah, they were like, "Can we turn this shit off? Can we turn this shit off?"
well, you never told them that it was you after the fact or no?
Yeah, no, they found out,
down the line, but it wasn't like in the
amongst the
car. You're
weeping.
like, all right, guys, like this is this thing I
Yeah,
made.
no, yeah, no, 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 yeah, down the
Okay.
line.
When they said that though, I mean, was that? It sounds like you didn't take that as like, okay, I can't do this. It sounds like you're like, well, okay, well, I'll just got to get better.
It ain't DJing. No, I was like, okay, maybe DJing ain't ain't the one for me. And I went to the store and I bought like a little USB microphone and I started
Okay.
just like singing over little YouTube beats and carry on.
Really? Okay. And
Yeah.
then with that, like, what about as far as like coming up with your own songs? Like, were you doing that at that time? You were just making up your own songs over what you were finding on YouTube?
Yeah. I didn't really. I uploaded a song over this beat that I found on YouTube to Spotify, and it got put in some playlist on Spotify, and then a bunch of like management and stuff found it from LA, and they reached out to me. And at the time, I was working full time at a trampoline park in New Zealand,
Hmm.
and I didn't really have any plan. And I was like, all right, a bunch of these people from LA are reaching out to me, like this is crazy. And I was like, if I can set up 5 meetings in LA, I'll quit my job and I'll sell my car and I'll just fly over and see what I can do.
Wow, that's
And
bold.
so my manager, who's currently managing me at the moment, reached out to me ages ago and was like, "Hey, I found your song. Like, do you have any plans on coming out to LA?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there in 2 weeks." But I hadn't booked a flight or anything. But
You just knew that if you set
I
up
was,
five meetings, you were going to do it. So at that
yeah,
point, you hadn't set up 5 meetings, or did you had five set up
I
already?
hadn't set up, but I was in the midst of setting up 5,
Okay. And so
and then
at what?
boom.
And then you just say, okay. So you tell your what family, hey, I'm
I
taking.
was like to
It
my
was
mom, I was like, "Look,
one
I'm
way
quitting."
ticket. I'm doing. I'm just gonna go all in.
I was like, "Yeah, look, um, I think I'm gonna go to LA." My mom was like, "Yes, do it," and my dad was like, "Absolutely not, absolutely not. You're gonna become an accountant or a chiropractor."
Is that what he does? Is he an accountant or a chiropractor, or
Yeah,
it was
he's a
just
chiropractor. He was a chiropractor. He was pretty certain on the accountant path, but I'm no accountant.
okay? Were you going to school to do that at all at that point, or were you just working
No,
at the
no.
trampoline place?
This was during I had just finished high school, and I all my friends had gone to university,
Hmm.
and was just doing like a gap year, just
Okay.
working working at the trampoline park,
And then you
kicking
get
back,
this,
doing some
yeah.
flips.
Then you get this opportunity. Was the song All For You? Is that the one that drew people to you, or is it before that?
No, it was this one before that that I have taken down.
Okay. So
Secret
this
one.
a secret one. But
Yeah.
it was good enough to have people obviously reaching out to you, and it did
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, it was
Um,
good. Isn't really my style anymore.
got it. So what was it like? Okay, so you what take a one-way ticket? Did you buy one-way pass to LA, or was it
No, yeah, I did a 3 month trip,
okay?
and when I was flying over there, I only had a week's worth of accommodation sorted. I was like, all right, once I get over there, I'll figure out where to stay once I'm over there. And I had these friends who from like TikTok and stuff that all lived over there, and I hit them up that I was over there, and they were like, "Dude, you can just come and stay with us," and they let me stay for 2 months free of charge with all of them,
Wow.
and now they're like some of my best friends.
Okay, so you come to LA for 3 months. You get these meetings, and then you
Yeah,
what head back to New Zealand?
yeah. So I met my manager out there in LA. We just hit it off like straight away, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the guy."
Mhm.
Signed a management contract with him, and basically just got to work. Went back to New Zealand and just started. We were like, all right, we're just not going to put out any music for the next 6 to 8 months, whatever it takes. We're just going to lock in and write as much music as possible and just like figure out what the sound is.
Mm-hmm.
So we just did that, and I just made like a ton of music, and kind of just worked on kind of finding my own sort of sound,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm kind of stoked with at the moment. And then
Yeah.
boom, we dropped All For You,
Mm-hmm.
and that did real good. It did real good out here. It was playing on the radio in New Zealand. My friends was like sending me videos of it playing in like stores and stuff, and
That'd be wild, right? I
yeah,
mean,
it was cool.
that's really cool. To hear your song on the radio. I mean, yeah, that's I was on the radio for a lot of years, like nearly 2 decades. So it's cool for me to talk to people that are younger and that are like, oh yeah, my song was on the radio. Like I think that's really
Yeah,
cool. Because some people nowadays are just like, wait,
yeah, it's a cool
what? What
moment.
is that dinosaur like media you're talking about? But no, that's awesome. Okay, so All For You does well, and then you have with the next single was Missing You, and you've have an experience. You meet what Machine Gun Kelly, right? Before you put that out?
Yeah, that was like the craziest story ever.
Yeah, I want to hear this
Um,
story.
so we this was back in like my second trip back to America, and me and my manager go up to Idaho. I can't remember why we're in Idaho. I think we were just doing like his family had like a place up there, and we just went up there for a week,
Mhm.
um, just to check it out. And we were in Idaho, and we were at this bar in Idaho, just getting a drink, and Machine Gun Kelly and his whole entourage walk into this bar, and I'm like, holy shit, like that's Machine Gun Kelly. And like,
How
keep in mind, like at
wild
this time, I'm
in Idaho of all places. It wasn't
in
like you're
Idaho,
on
and
in LA or anything like that. You're in
no,
Idaho.
no, and like like from New Zealand, I'd never like seen a celebrity before, so I was just like, what the fuck, like this is crazy. And I was like to my manager, I was like, right, like I was like, should I go and ask him for a photo? And my manager was like, absolutely not. Like, absolutely not. So we're just leaving.
Absolutely
I'm like, all
not.
right, I'm like, all right. I need to like keep my composure. And then like 30 minutes later, I'm up at the bar ordering another beer, and I just hear this, you're from New Zealand, right? And I'm like, what? And he's like, you're from New Zealand, right? I'm like, Machine Gun Kelly? Like, do you know me? And he's like, no, but I can hear it in your accent. I've got a bunch of friends from New Zealand, and you sound exactly like them. And I'm like, oh my God. And then he's like, so what do you do? I'm like, well, it's funny you ask, Machine Gun Kelly. I'm actually doing music. And he was talking about like what kind of music I made, asking who my inspirations were and stuff. And then we were just chatting, and he's like, I'm intrigued by you. I want you to, I'm playing a show out here tomorrow. I want you to come backstage and play me your music.
Damn,
I'm
I'm
like,
intrigued by you.
I'm
That's
I'm like
crazy.
freaking out. I can like feel like my eyes getting like watery as he's just like saying this. Like I was just like freaking out. And then yeah, and then we obviously had been drinking a bit, so I woke up the next day and I was like, tell me that actually happened. Like I thought it was like a dream or something. And then boom, we go the next day. Um Go to a show. I thought it was going to be him and his whole like entourage again in this back room backstage, and it was just going to be me kind of like squeezing in the back there with the whole
Right, like,
entourage. But it was
remember me?
literally,
You told me to like bring
yeah,
you
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like, who the
But
hell?
it wasn't. It was literally just him, and me and my manager walk in there, and he freaking hands me an aux cord, and he's just like, play me the shit you were telling me about on these huge. He's got these huge speakers set up. And I was just like, oh shit. Okay. So I like plug it in, and I start playing some songs. And he's sitting down, kind of just like listening to it, rolling a little joint, just like listening to the songs. And he gets up while like one of the songs is playing, and he like reaches for the volume, and I'm like, oh my God, he doesn't fuck with it. He's gonna turn it down. He doesn't like it. And then he just like blasts it even more. Like, oh, this is crazy. Um, then he loving all the music. He called his manager on the spot and made his manager come and listen. And then his manager listened to him and called his manager called his producers and made them come and listen.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
they invited us out. Yeah, they just he was like, this was the week of Missing You being released, so it wasn't going to be released. I was having like some second thoughts about it,
Mhm.
and I played it for him, and he was like, sometimes as an artist, you hear a song and you're just like, damn, I wish I wrote that. And he said that about Missing You, and I was like, that's the proof I needed.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. That is that's an incredible story. I mean, that's like something I got that's like a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I know.
going, you know, like that's
It was
crazy.
insane, dude. It was insane.
I mean, the
Yeah,
fact that he not only invites you to he wants you to come back to listen, he wants to hear your song, and then like
yeah,
legitimately is ready and like in this like okay, yeah, I got the he's got the speaker set up, he's got the chord, and it's just him. He's like, all right, let's like the fact that he's giving that opportunity is
yeah.
crazy. And
No,
then
yeah,
for him to call somebody, I mean, to really co-sign. I mean, the song's awesome. So obviously
yeah.
he knows what he's doing, but it's like that's just such a crazy experience.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
a legend for that,
gosh.
dude. It's just like
Damn.
he didn't need to do that, but it was just like this it was cool of him.
That is so cool. And then so when do you start working on your EP's coming out, I think what, 2 days or something or a day
Yeah,
for you?
yeah,
So where it was Missing You is on the I've had a chance to hear the EP. So did
yeah.
you have a majority of it done at that point
Um,
or no?
ooh, a little bit. Missing You, actually, the Missing You that's out now is a little bit different to the one that's coming out on the EP. Well, mix wise, it's got a way better mix now, and it's just so much better. Like when the EP comes out and the news out, it's gonna be better. Like the drop just kind of hits a bit harder, which I've been like, that was like, you know how sometimes like you release a song, you're just like, oh, I wish I just did that, or I wish I could just like make
Oh
that bit a
yeah.
bit louder, or make that bit hit a bit harder.
You
So
got
it's
the
cool I got to do
opportunity to
that,
do
but
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, the EP for the most part was, um, yeah, it got like totally wrapped up, like honestly, like a couple months ago. Um, there was like maybe a bit more than that, but yeah, I don't know. I've just got so much music. Like after the EP, I'm just gonna roll out a ton more music. Um,
That's
which yeah, I'm
exciting.
just sitting on a lot of music at the moment, but I'm excited about it all.
Yeah. Is what can you tell me as far as like what's the EP about? Is there like a through line for it or
The EP is kind of like it's all just within that sort of same genre of like just guitar based, like almost kind of folky, but I don't really know what the exact genre is, but it's all kind of in the same realm. And then all the music I'm sitting on is a bit of a switch up from that. So after the EP, I'm kind of gonna it's gonna be a good little change.
oh, okay. Now I'm intrigued to hear what that's gonna sound like. But yeah, I know the EP is just coming
I'll
out.
send them to you,
That's
man. I'll send them
yeah,
to you.
because we got to talk about this EP. But wow, okay. And then you're doing the show on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve, right? That's when the
Yep.
festival is. Which that's insane that that's kind of where you went and saw a DJ performing and thinking like, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna go home and get Ableton, and then now look
Yeah.
at where you're at. You're playing the show.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm super excited about that.
That's awesome, man. And what about other show? Because I was just going off your site. Um, that's the only one you have thus far booked. Are you doing things in the coming year or like in next
I
year?
just booked
Or
in two more. I just booked in two more today, and I booked one last week, another festival, um,
wow,
last week, and then just got the news today that I booked in two ones that I'm really excited about at the end of the month.
that's exciting, man. Have you had a chance to play
Yeah.
a lot of live shows yet, or not? Not so much.
We've just been getting the reps in this year. Like I did my first ever headline show at the start of the year in like February,
Hmm.
in New Zealand, and that was super fun.
Yeah, I saw you sold it out, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
And
huge.
then I did South by Southwest in Texas, which was fun. And
Oh
then I
yeah.
did just the South by Southwest in Sydney just last week, which was super cool too.
Wow. I forgot that they're doing it in Australia now too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
was this the first year they did that? I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah. It was the first time they did that.
Yeah, was it much different going? I mean, I'm sure it had to be what totally different in Sydney versus the one in Austin.
Yeah, it was the same vibe. It was the same vibe, and I feel like it's the first year, so they still need to like get used to it. When you go and do it in Austin, it's like everyone just knows what's up.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, everyone knows. It's like, oh yeah, they're like bros.
well, it's
Yeah,
awesome, man. And I can't wait. I mean, like I said, I had a chance to hear the EP. It's awesome. I really intrigued now to hear kind of what your new venture is going to sound like. But I love what you're doing thus far, and I appreciate you taking time to chat with me. Thank you so much for doing this.
yeah, man. Of course.
Yeah, I have one more quick question for you, Will, before I let you go. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Um. Uh. You got to be confident in your taste. I'm not in a crazy position to just be dishing out advice, but I would say be confident in your taste, and don't be afraid to say no to people and post on TikTok.